Hi, I'm Simon Rushton, and this is Taxi Chronicles podcast. On this podcast, we spontaneously interview unsuspecting passengers with their permission, allowing them to share their intimate life stories and concerns. As our slogan states, real riders, real stories. Some riders prefer to be anonymous, while others ask me to tell their story later on. Either way, there are all genuine 5 to 10 minutes stories, so sit back and enjoy this episode. Morning. This is Taxi's Chronicles, and this is a rare moment when I'm going to have to do something from home. I've been watching this documentary. It's Mike Tyson's boxing. Mike Tyson's Hotboxin podcast. And there's a guy on here, and he's climbing the mountains, and he's skydiving, wear like a wingsuit, and he flies over mountains. And he decided he was going to climb a mountain in Afghanistan. And I could try and reiterate the story, but I think it's best for me to play this recording because this is phenomenal. This story. I'm going to play the story, and then I'm going to tell a story of my own that I shared. But here goes.
I was in Pakistan. I was trying to go climb a mountain called Batura 2, which was the highest unclimbed mountain in the world. It's right on the border of Afghanistan. So I'm walking through, and this guy comes out in a beard from this little yurt tent deal. He goes, "Hey, come here." Holy shit. I'm like, I'm all by myself. I'm just hiking in. My partner had already been over there. That was an Italian guy. We were going to climb the mountain. So I had to hike in for like 3 days. He goes, "Hey, you want some tea?" I'm like, "Okay." He walks in. He goes, "Do you know where you're at?" I said, "Yeah. I got the GPS. Everything's working. I'm going over here." And he goes, "Man, there's a lot of Taliban around here."
I know.
And I was like, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, big time. You better watch out. Just watch out." He said, "Probably you won't see him, He said, "But you're about the only white guy here, in any stretch around." I said, "Well, what about you? You have problems with the Taliban?" He goes, "No, last week we got rid of the Taliban." I'm like, "Oh, really? How'd you do that?" He goes, "Well, they were trying to come in and recruit some of the young guys here in our village, and we just went and cut all their heads off and put them on little sticks out in front of the house here. They don't come over here anymore."
Yeah, it's harsh living.
And I'm thinking, I'm walking by myself for the next 2 days. And these guys.
That's harsh living.
That was that. And that's an amazing story. He's a renowned skydiver, mountain climber. It's Joby. I can't pronounce his surname. His surname spells Ogwyn. But on another personal note, I used to work with a guy when I was working on the ships, and he had just finished. He's a lot older than me. He's probably pressing his 60s now, early 60s then. And at the time we were doing maritime security, so we're stopping the pirates hijacking the vessels. And what had happened, he was telling me about how he used to work in Afghanistan. And he used to work VIP, looking after people, or like this family. He'd been assigned to look after a family, him and another guy. And because it's just two of them in like the mountain areas, it's not like they've got a big team. They dress like locals. So he's a white guy, but he had a bit of a ginger beard, and they always thought he was from Kurdistan or one of the northern places in Afghanistan, left over from Alexandra's a great population, so he kind of blended in. When you saw the photo, he blended in quite well as one of the northern Afghan people. But point being, he was driving along one time, and the car broke down, and they know there's checkpoints dotted along, and they're panicking now. They're thinking, "Oh, it's just the two of them." Blah blah blah. The vehicles can't be in tip-top condition and look really brand new because they're trying to do a low profile protection. But the problem is the vehicle's too old and it just hasn't been maintained. So if the bodywork looked bad, that was one thing, but the engine matched the bodywork, so that was another thing. But he said, funny enough, out the blue, came a white guy on a bicycle, and he had like this attachment, a trailer attachment on the back of the bicycle with his tent and whatever on, and he had a long beard and whatever, and he's cycling, and he went, and they was near the Khyber Pass, where it's renowned for Taliban and warlords and bandits and stuff, and he's looked at this guy, and this guy's gone, hello, like just waved to him, and he kept on cycling, and he said, wait a minute, where have you come from? Have you just come from over there? And he said, yeah. And he said, how come you're not dead? That's full of Taliban. And, he said, well, I just tell them hello and keep on cycling, and they leave me alone. And he said, this is phenomenal. He said he couldn't, he said this, it was so unbelievable. The guy was from Sweden or Norway or something like that, and he just decided he's going to cycle from one end of, he's just going to do the whole route of the Khyber Pass all the way down, I think it's into Pakistan or some other neighbouring country, and he's just doing it, and nothing's stopping him. And it's amazing how in a war zone, some people can just get away with the highest risks, just like this guy in the mountain. But anyway, short and sweet. I hope you like the story, and I'll be in a taxi soon and be pumping out more stories. We hope you liked that episode. Keeping in mind, we never know who we're going to interview. We post twice a day, 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. GMT. Have you ever considered the future economies to invest in? Why not listen to our sister podcast, Africa Investor Stories? Considering Africa has the fastest growing economies and population on Earth, and has done for many years, it holds 30% of the world's known natural resources. We publish twice a week, Tuesday with a guest investor, and Fridays talking about investment, politics and history, providing a clear understanding for any potential investor.